Deep in the ocean, an orca pod is on the hunt. But these aren't your average orcas. These guys are organized.
Marketing team, did you get those social media posts scheduled for the SEAL migration?
Aye, Captain. We even have an automated notification for all pod managers when they go live.
They use Monday.com to keep their teamwork sharp, their communication clear, and their goals in sight. Monday.com. For whatever you run, even orcas. Go to Monday.com to dive deeper.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
So you graduate college.
Huh?
What do you end up doing?
This is your life?
Yes, that is what the thing is.
Oh, God.
You shut the fuck up.
Sorry, okay. I worked summer stock every summer while I was in college. So when I moved to New York after college, I knew people that were already in the business. And the way you become a successful piano player is, I was playing auditions for them. So at the auditions, I would meet people behind the table that would say, do you want to music direct my show, or can you come play more auditions? And it began leading to more and more work. And I guess my big break was this guy named James Raitt, who saw me play an audition related to John Raitt and Bonnie Raitt. He's this brilliant music director.
Right.
He did Forever Play, the show called Pageant and Forever Play.
Oh, yeah, I remember Pageant.
Pageant was amazing. So it was Forever Play, and he hired me to be a music director, and that kind of moved me into
And how
the
old were
legitimate-
you?
23, I guess.
So, I've taken piano lessons since I'm 5
You were a
years
piano
old.
major.
Right. No, I was a music major with the piano. Yeah.
Oh, we made fun of music majors because they weren't good enough to be piano majors.
Right.
Sorry.
Exactly. It's fine. First, I went in as a communications major.
That doesn't mean anything.
And then I really just wanted to be a performer. Like, I wanted to be a comic, whatever.
Right.
But I had to get a degree. So anyway, I always needed music. Like, I couldn't, how do you, if you sang a melody, I could bang it out, but I couldn't put the chords to it. Like, I learned so boring, churny,
I see what you're saying.
and
Churny's horrible.
Hannon,
Yes.
and then, just Bach, and, and it was always, I never developed, the
pop
fact
thing?
that you can.
But I got that because of
that.
my older siblings. My brother was an amazing rock musician, and my sisters, Beth and Nancy, loved musical theater and pop. So I would always be accompanying them, and Beth would be like, "That's too high, take it down a step." So I learned all that pop playing from my siblings. So you didn't have that, but that's how
I know,
learned
but that's
it.
what I wanted to. I really want to know how to do that, but
So
I think
took
I'm
lessons.
too old.
No, it's really, you know what it is? I would say take out of the library the score to Pippin and Godspell, because the way that is written out for the piano is written out like a pop pianist. You will learn so much from just reading the actual notes, and then you can transfer that style of playing to other music. Godspell and Pippin are the two ones to do.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and just play them. You'll sound like a pop pianist.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you.
That's what I did. I mean, I would just play these things that were written out, and then
yeah.
and then you know how to then do that style on other songs. She's in a state of shock. She never
I
knew.
just am so excited.
Yeah.
When you were in college,
Yeah.
Any famous people in your class?
Not my Judy Kuhn, one of my favorite singers in the world, went to Oberlin. I know, big Jew. Went to Oberlin 2 years before me, 10 years before me. But by the way, when she would go on for Edwin Drew, they would call her the bar mitzvah boy. Just FYI. Speaking of Jew, yeah, because she looked like a little Jewish boy. 10 years before me, Julie Taymor. I'm trying to think in my actual Oberlin. Oh, a famous classical pianist, Jeremy Dank, but you wouldn't know him. Right. And Hal Prince's son, Charlie Prince, went there. But nobody, right? Nobody famous at Oberlin, right, James?
Not during.
Oh, Emily Nussbaum, when I was a fucking Pulitzer Prize.
Right.
We were like good friends. Like we were both just clunkers.
Right.
We had a radio show together. Now she has a Pulitzer fucking Prize.
I know.
It's infuriating.
It's amazing. Okay.
Emily.
So you moved to New York.
Yeah, I got
right
started.
away. See, now you can't move to New York anymore.
Wait,
as
you
an
can't afford
artist.
it, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I moved here. I lived with an opera singer on 81st Street.
Wow.
I had my own room in the back. It was the basement of a brownstone. And his fucking cat would bring in pigeons and dead pigeons.
Oh, God. That's
It was
story.
horrible. I'd come in and there's a dead bird. And he's like, oh, that's because she likes you. I'm like, I don't want a fucking bird anyway.
Oh, my God.
But I had a back backyard. Anyway.
Nice.
And he would go off and sing operas, and he had a baby grand piano, so I would get the whole place to myself.
Nice.
I know. Yep, 81st
Wow.
between Amsterdam and Columbus, and he was gay. I went to the gay roommate service.
Oh, you were smart.
Yeah.
I just roomed with a summer stock girl. I think we had a duplex on 88th in Amsterdam. I think we each paid $750.
Oh, I paid $400.
No, you're right. Around $450 a month. And once in a while, I'd have to beg my mother to pay my rent.
Right.
But I know what you mean. It was much cheaper to live in New York.
But you never had like a job.
The day that I finally brought my tuxedo to go to a place to get a catering gig, I got a job playing the piano. It was like when I finally gave in, I'm like, I guess I'm never going to get a piano playing job. And I'm like, I'm going to go cater. And that day I got some piano playing job. And then I never had a real job.
Did you buy the tux?
I had it because from
Right.
conducting Rhapsody in Blue.
Right.
Like I had my own tux.
How long had you lived in New York when that happened?
Maybe like a year.
Wow.
I mean, well, being a piano player, you can always get work. I mean, I
Right.
was always able to get work. It was
Did
never.
you ever play at like Brandy's? Or
Are you kidding me? I was just telling James, I was at Rose's Turn every single Monday for
wow.
years. Me, Christine Zabornik, and Elaine Breyer. I mean, years. Monday night was my night, and oh my God, I learned so much about comedy. Christine Zabornik is a genius.
Yeah, she's great.
And that was my gig, and I made really good money because they passed around that tip jar.
I know.
I think I made like $200 like per night.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, and back in 1992.
That was a lot of money.
I know it was a great job.
I know. I lived on cold sesame noodles. That was because they were $2.95.
They're also really good.
I know. I worked at an elevator repair company.
Oh,
then
God.
I worked at military media, sold advertising. They sold advertising for military-based newspapers, and I would like pull the. we
Why
had
the
to
most
send
depressing
all-
Oh, my
jobs? Why not just a
God.
waitress like everyone else in the world?
I don't know. I just didn't. I applied for some waitressing jobs, and they wouldn't. I think I was too big, honestly.
It's always the answer. You sure it's not too annoying? You sure it's definitely about the height?
Shut up! I auditioned for fucking Bill Esper for graduate school.
For acting class?
Yeah, to go to Mason Gross to the graduate program, and he said you're very talented. I did 2 monologues.
Yeah.
They were great.
You're a good
one
actress.
was a comedic one, and one was he said you're very talented. You have excellent comedic timing, but you're too tall. How do you expect me to cast you?
I'm so bored. with
I know.
types.
And my mother was like, he'll get his. He'll get his.
Your mother's invitation is always pianissimo and
I know.
just
And
seething
then-
with
yeah.
anger.
And
there
then-
you go.
It's always down here.
Yeah. But she was, you said your mother would never get involved.
No, she would get. No, my mother would talk a big talk, but never get.
No, my mother would write to the head of Pan Am, how dare you?
That's a Jewish thing. My father was always writing letters
Like
on Rexigraphs. We'd have like a
Right.
copy on carbons. I don't know. Did my mother get involved a lot? I don't know. It was always.
I've heard stories of a lot of suing.
Yeah, it was always.
No,
we
we
were
never
always
sued.
suing and we always lost, which was really fun.
Really?
Oh, constantly.
You know what my mother did that was so fucking annoying? When I was in K through 8, I lived 5 houses down from the school. 5 houses.
I can't really escape.
Okay? Like you could go in the athletic field and see the back of my house, right? The minute there was like a major snowstorm.
Oh,
You're
no.
not going.
No. I'd be in class. Who is the first loudspeaker? Judith Gold, please come to the office. Your mother's here to pick you up. I'm like, I can see my
No,
house.
that is a Jewish. That is a completely Jewish thing. My mother. By the way, it would start sprinkling check. You're not going to school today. None of your teachers are going to show up either. I'm like, they're not going to show up. It's a light flurry, or I'd have a cold and literally you're staying home for a week, a full week if I had a cold.
Oh, no, I didn't have that. They were
Oh.
like, no, but she would if there was a.
So it's snow you got home, but not for being
If
sick.
it was like a natural disaster, if there was weather,
Natural disaster.
if there was any chance of me slipping or,
Right.
You know what I got all the time? I'd be on the phone with my boyfriend, let's say when I was 19 at Oberlin, and I'd be talking to him like, this is an emergency cut in from Sally Rudetsky. Constantly my mother would be checking in with an emergency cut
And
in.
would you always answer?
I was, of course, it was by the way the house
Did you have your
phone.
own phone?
No, I would be
I had
in
no
my
phone.
house.
We had one phone.
It was the kitchen
Couldn't
phone.
you just say, I do not accept this emergency
From
call?
my mother? Do you know
Well.
that she would drive home from work? No, I couldn't do that.
Did you? How many phones were in your house?
We just had, we had one, and then I think when I was 12 years old, we got a second
Oh
line.
my God! Oh, my mother would not No, we don't. We had one phone, and all the kids had their own princess phone and their own phone number, which was one digit away from the regular.
Right.
Not us.
Did you have call waiting? When that
No.
came
It didn't
around?
exist when we were kids.
No.
Call
It did.
waiting?
Well, it did.
Okay.
In my 20s.
All right. How about this? We couldn't have a color TV because it gave off radiation.
Wow.
We couldn't have a color TV because we were too cheap.
Oh.
I had black and white up until my 20s. And my, by the way, version of taping television shows was I would hold my tape recorder up to the TV
my
and push
God.
record.
Yeah.
We couldn't have a Betamax or anything like that.
I had a joke in my act about how we couldn't have a color TV because it gave off radiation. And then, thank God, a few years later, they invented remote control because we could never get up from the couch to change a channel with our lead aprons on. That was one of my favorite jokes.
It's so funny because James's mother is so
Not
so
Jewish.
not a Jewish, completely not in his business, whatever y'all want. She's
Right.
the most hands off. It's so not.
But, my parents were so old-fashioned. Everyone had these huge bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs at the, Saturday night, the big... And we had brunch at the house for my brother.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, they had dessert afterwards on a Friday night. For me, I had the biggest one. They had dinner at the synagogue before. And no pictures because, God, you can't take a photo in the synagogue.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so there's one picture and it's blurry and I'm really tall. And no one came and no one came to my bum. A
that's
few
depressing.
people and everyone else had these huge and it was just I fucking hated those people.
My rabbi, my parents were getting divorced.
Yeah.
And I remember he got up in his speech. He was like, "There's a 7-letter word that is so important: loyalty." And he wouldn't stop saying about loyalty. And then, of course, on my big bar mitzvah sign-in sheet, my brother wrote the 7-letter word the rabbi was talking about was hair lip, which I thought was hilarious. My brother was really funny, but I still remember that. Just saying. Where was I?
My rabbi.
Loyalty.
Oh, I hated him.
Oh, I
and
like my rabbi.
he was so awful. Actually, my mother had a meeting with him because he would pay extra attention to the rich people.
Oh,
yeah.
Grandma always says that she moves her little ass over because she
Oh my
donates to the shul.
gosh.
Yeah, it always was raging.
My mother is like, I am here every week. Every week. Do I get an Aaliyah? No. So anyway, she told him off. Anyway, so my parents went to Israel when I was 12 or 11, and they were flying over the Swiss Alps, I guess, and something happened to the plane, and they descended really quickly.
Oh my God,
that's so scary.
And the oxygen mask came out, and they ended up landing. They were on El Al, but they ended up landing in a country that didn't have diplomatic relations with Israel.
Oh my
So
God.
they're surrounded. They couldn't get off the plane. They're surrounded by guns. Blah blah blah. I didn't know this. So apparently my grandmother knew it, but I was too young.
Right.
So my parents called, and they said, we're going to stay in Israel an extra day. That's what they told me, because God forbid they should ever tell me the fucking truth.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay, what'd you get me? And so my sister is like, what'd you get me? What'd you get me?
Oh, she still quotes it back to you?
Yes, what'd you get me?
Well, why did
They're almost dead. What'd you get me?
you didn't know?
I know. And so anyway, the next week I'm in Hebrew school. My parents made me go to Hebrew school and Hebrew high school. Fucking kill me.
Wow, that's annoying.
I know. And the rabbi walks by me and he says, oh, Judith. Everyone called me Judith. I heard you were almost an orphan last week.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
Did you not know the story?
no, I did. But after that, I
Right.
was like,
Oh, just a weird way to say, I hope your parents are okay. I hope it worked out.
who says I heard you were? Then
I know,
my mother
and
went
it's-
back in and was like, how dare you?
Oh.
He hated us. I fucking hated him. All right. Anyway, so you're a piano player.
Yeah.
You moved to New York at what age?
1,000. He went to LA.
I
like an
was
idiot.
29 when I.
So you were in
finally moved to New
LA?
York.
Why'd you go to LA?
Actor.
He was scared of New York because he saw Rhoda. And
That
he
is
thought
true.
the beginning of Rhoda was so scary.
Are you kidding?
That's you grew up in Texas, and that's 70s television. Come on, anything that was set in New York, it looked horrific and scary. If you didn't already live
With like
in the
Chico and the
tri-state
Man.
area,
It was all sort of
well,
scary.
yeah. I mean, even Taxi. I mean,
Oh,
you
when
know,
I
like all
used
of
to,
those shows.
In the 80s, walk to the Improv that was on 44th and 9th.
Oh.
I mean,
it still is horrific.
Right. But it was like I'd get off at 42nd Street and it was just like X-rated theaters, syringes on the floor. I just wanted stage time, so I didn't really care. But it was like...
No, it was scary.
It was disgusting.
And it scared Jimmy.
Oh, poor Jim.
I wish I had. But
Jim.
You know what? Life worked out. Seth and I have talked about it. It's like, God, if I had moved to New York when I graduated college in 1989, I mean, I was 19, about to turn 20. I think surrounded by, talk about the height of the AIDS crisis and being surrounded, not in cars, but like you're passing by attractive guys on the sidewalk and shoulder to shoulder on the subway. Who knows what stupid decisions I would have made?
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
But career wise, I mean, I had great just like day jobs and I got my equity card ironically in LA, but I didn't really get much. I didn't do career wise. Like Seth was in his 20s. He was on his path.
I dedicated myself to my career. He was teaching autistic kids.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Seth,
Yeah.
All right. First of all, there's so many things about you that remind me of me, but you're way more talented musically. Yes, you are. You're so just shut the fuck up. And when I met you, so we worked at Rosie together.
Yeah. I was a comedy writer. She was a human interest producer.
Right. But I had started out as a comedy writer. But I was like, wow, that's interesting. I knew you as
a musician.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I wonder why, he's writing comedy. But whatever, you were funny. But and then I left and I got my hair blown out and got screamed at. And
Judy.
No, you don't know the real story. The real story. Everyone used to go in the makeup room in the morning, after they did and the hair would like sometimes blow your hair out or you'd put on makeup, whatever. And so I did not have a guest that morning, and I got my hair blown out.
Yeah.
And I had an audition at lunch. So
they accused her of basically not being dedicated to her job because she looked like she had the audition because her hair was blown out, and they were busted her for going to an audition at lunch. By the way, I don't know. We weren't even allowed to take lunch, right? Weren't we sort of like, we didn't have official lunch hours. You kind of just went out and got your lunch.
Right, you got your lunch. So I took my lunch thing to go to the audition, and Rosie knew I would. I know.
Right.
Remember when Rosie got sick and the last second you had to take over in Las Vegas?
Right. Exactly.
Whatever. Anyway, the point is, it was a little toxic there once in a while. Go on.
All right. And then we worked on our family cruise together.
That was so fun.
Okay, I have to say, our family cruise. Now, during that cruise,
and that's where I first met you, Judy.
Yeah. During that cruise, Sharon was moving out of. She was supposed to come on the cruise,
Judy
but
Gold's ex.
I had caught her cheating, and
with a Rabbitson.
And not Jewish. Anyway,
Shanza.
And we told the kids that Mama has to work and she's not going. But we had decided she would move out of the apartment that week. So the whole week I'm on this magical. I mean, it was the most amazing. It was the perfect week for it.
The entire boat was for gay parents and their kids.
Right.
And
it was
allies.
the first one. And there were people that came from all over the country who couldn't even be out in their. And I mean, that cruise was magical.
It was.
Wasn't it?
It was an amazing week. And there's that documentary called All Aboard. You can watch it. Oh, it was amazing.
And Uncle Bob Smith came.
Oh, right.
He did stand
passed
up.
away from funny
ALS. Fucking stupid. Anyway, so we had met on that, and you did Chatterbox, right? You had this thing called Chatterbox.
Yeah.
Was it at Don't Tell Mama?
Yeah, what happened? Just FYI, the reason that happened is because Rosie was doing the Grammy Awards and she was taking the red eye. So they said Rosie can't rehearse with Martin Short. So I went and I did this rehearsal with Martin Short on the Rosie O'Donnell show, where I sang this number with him. And the feed went to the writers' room, and they all watched me. And they were like, "Oh, you're a good performer. Why don't you perform?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm behind the scenes now." And then I was like, "Wait, why don't I perform?" And I remember calling one of my friends that was an agent, and I was like, "I kind of want to perform again." And I said, like, they're probably like better actors than me, but I feel like I have really good personality. Like, I should do like a talk show or something. And he said, "Well, why don't you just start your own weekly talk show live in New York, and then people can come see it, and then you'll get like a TV show," which by the way never happened. I got a radio show. But I started this thing called Seth's Broadway Chatterbox, where I'd spend an hour interviewing a Broadway star, because Broadway stars would go on TV. They would do 3-minute interviews. I remember seeing Jane Krakowski where they're like, "You're doing Funny Girl now, but we heard this time it's a musical." And I was like, wow, nobody knows anything on TV.
Oh my God.
It made me crazy. So I was like, I really want to do an hour where I can just get real Broadway stories. So I started that thing called Seth's Broadway Chatterbox in 1999. And yes, that's what about it. Go on.
It was brilliant. It was a brilliant idea.
And deconstructing is the second thing I started.
This is okay. So this is what I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
I love music, and I will sit and learn. You know, I will listen to like, Schubert, and then I'll listen. I'll say I'm going to listen to first violin, and then I'll listen to the only first violin. You know what I mean?
You'll focus your ear,
right? And then I'll say, oh, I'm going to listen to and I just fucking love doing that, right? And when you do your deconstruction, it's so like. It's so specific, and those are like, I would listen to music the same way and be like, oh no, there's this one, and I would be obsessed with it. And I fucking love that you do that. Like, I so relate to that obsession. What do you think that I can't even don't talk to me when I'm listening to music. Like, you know what I mean? I can't.
Well, I'm that way too. That's why I hate having music at a party. I'm like, why do I want music in the background? It drives me crazy.
Right.
But the deconstruction was because basically ever since I was young, I remember being in 6th grade, calling out my friend Michael Smith, holding the phone next to the record player, playing Ain't Misbehaving and going, Nell Carter is belting an E. I remember holding the phone, being like, listen to her belt. So there were little tiny moments I always loved. And I started doing stand-up comedy. And within my stand-up, I would play Aretha Franklin singing I Dreamed a Dream, because she does this bizarre moment. Right. And it was this little tiny thing. And then I did this deconstruction of Barbra Streisand, where she changes the consonants. I did it in Gypsy of the Year.
Which one?
When she goes, my man is gone, and when your man is gone, your world just falls apart. Right. Duh. And it's a D. And I was like, that's weird, because it's actually a T. So I did that as part of this big Broadway Cares Equity AIDS benefit. And Rosie O'Donnell came to see it, and she said, that's so good.
Right.
You should do an entire show of just that. It was just kind of part of my comedy act, and that became my thing. And then this woman, Amanda Lippett, said, take that video and put it on something that's called YouTube. Like, it had just come out.
Right.
And I put that video up, and it really just it so changed my life. Yeah. I was literally with Julie, our kid, in Germany, transferring planes in Frankfurt. The opposite of that.
Yeah.
And Julie was probably like 10, and she said, can I throw out this bottle of Diet Coke? And I said, yeah. And I walked and I threw it out. And right at that moment, a passport person called me over. And I'm like, I'm not allowed to use the garbage. And I was like, yes.
And you're in Germany.
I was in Germany. And I was like, I'm totally in trouble on the passport line. And he was literally like, Broadway. I watch video, Broadway. Literally my deconstruction. I mean, it's amazing that it's people watch it all over the world.
It's fucking great.
Well, I love music. So I love showing people what's great about music.
And then you were with, before you met James, you were with Aaron.
Aaron, who was your piano teacher.
I love him. And he's, Mensa.
He's a great interview because he grew up as an amazing piano. He's, by the way, the first son of the first son, a Chinese wife. So incredible pressure. And his parents were born again. So crazy pressure. Yeah, born again Christians and Chinese. And his mother said, he was a brilliant piano player. She said, if you come in first place in this piano competition, you can major in piano in college. But if you don't, we were not going to pay for college. And he came in second place. So when I met him, he was a biomedical engineer and then an architect, and he completely given up piano. And I was like, Aaron, you can't give it up. And he's like, I don't want to play because it brings back what could have been. And I was like, you have to. And when he was 29, he went back to music school, Manus, and he changed his whole life, and now he's a musician. But he completely given it up because his mother said she wouldn't pay for college. So he's just a really interesting interview. He had a totally different, he was an architect. He went to Columbia for architecture. And then
my God, he's so smart. He's in Mensa.
I know he's immense. It drives me crazy. It's basically a bunch of nerds.
I
whatever.
know. I always make fun of him.
Anyway, what's your point?
I don't know. That was it. You played
Yes.
Sheldon in the Ritz.
That was so good.
And Joe
fun.
Mantello had seen you.
Yes. He gave me that gig.
I'll
tell you one story you'll love about that.
Okay.
I won't say who it is, but I had to do my number wearing a unitard, a horrible, because, there's a performance in the gay bathhouse, and Joe Mantello said, I want you to do Magic to Do. And because he said,
like from Pippin?
Yeah, because he
They've
said,
got magic to do.
Yeah.
Just
so he said
for
the show
you.
takes place in the 70s. He's like, probably Pippin was a big hit then. So I want you to do a really bad version of Magic to Do. And we came up with this concept, Michael Lee Scott, where I had these umbrellas that had white gloves in them, like the hands had been green. And I twirled them, and I'm in this horrible unitard. And it actually was a big hit in the show. It was really, really funny.
Right.
The way it was. Anyway, but after the show, really famous star came up to me and she was like, oh my God, that unitard. She goes, where did they get all that padding in the front and on the sides? I was like, that's not padding, that's my fat. And she's like, oh no, not at all. You're not fat. And then she goes, you're not fat, look. And then she just kept touching my rib going, look, you're not fat. You're not fat. I go, right, you're touching a rib. There's no fat there. The padding you saw was my stomach hanging over my dance belt. Which, by the way, at one performance hurt so much, and I realized it because I had it on backwards. I was wearing my dance belt.
I need to know who it is. No, just write it.
No.
Oh, please.
I'll say it was a pretty famous Broadway star. Let's leave it at that.
Come on, you gotta give me initials.
Nope. I don't want to ever talk
Do you
about
know?
it. The fact that I admitted that I was fat should be enough. Now let's move on.
Do you hate that person?
No, because
have you ever worked with that person since?
Yes, because she really thought
Did
that
you
I had
ever
funny
say to
padding.
that person, you did that to me?
You were too mortified.
No, I said it to her face. I said, it's not padding. I'm fat.
No, but after that.
No, who cares?
Oh, I fucking care. You better tell me, James.
I will.
Burt Bacharach.
Yes.
Hal David.
Yes.
The
What the World Needs Now Is Love?
Promises.
Oh, my turkey lurkey deconstruction?
Well, first of all, the pneumonia line.
Oh, wait. Oh, that story?
Yes.
How do you know that story? Because I told you.
No, I do research on my fucking guests.
Yeah, Burt Bacharach told me because.
I can't believe you fucking talked to Burt Bacharach. I love him.
So much. Wait, we have such a better story about Burt Bacharach.
All right, but can you I love that. So Hal David had pneumonia.
Yeah, Hal David got sick because they're so horrible to put on a Broadway show. It was so stressful. He went into the hospital, and because of that, he came up with the lyric, what do you get when you fall in love? You get enough germs to catch pneumonia. It was the tip of the hat to his own pneumonia. But so much more than that, and I'll play you. James, just after the Orlando shooting, James, talk about that, and I'm going to find that.
Maybe we're skipping around here.
No, because she's obsessed with Bacharach.
No, that's fine. I love Burt Bacharach.
Well, I'm gonna find
Do
it.
you
You tell the
find
story.
that
we
he
got it.
is beyond brilliant?
Yeah. Yes, James, tell the story. I'm gonna find it.
All right.
So after the Orlando Pulse massacre, I had this idea to record "What the World Needs Now Is Love,"
yes.
and gather our Broadway friends and put it out and raise money for the
Yes,
for the
I
Gay
remember
Lesbian
that.
Center, right?
I wasn't
So-
invited to do it. Okay, shut up.
So we recorded the song with all of our Broadway friends, and yes, it went to #1 on iTunes, and it raised a lot of money. And then we performed at the Democratic National Convention.
Right.
But before that, so it was had the idea on the Monday. We recorded it in between shows on the Wednesday. We mixed it on Thursday, and the following Monday it was released. And then the following day we were shooting on Maya Rudolph and Marty Short's show,
Right.
And we were performing, and I got in a phone call and busy, like getting all these performers together. They were actually shooting. The show was going to air that night, and they were inserting our song into the show. And I noticed I got a message from Burt Bacharach. I'm like, but I didn't even
Wait.
have. I literally did not.
Did
have,
it say Burt Bacharach?
Well, this is what I have right here. So literally, we recorded. I mean, it was all such a whirlwind. We didn't even think about even getting in contact. We had to get permission from his manager. I think that's how we got the rights to the song, right?
I think, but anyway, I listened to it. I didn't actually have time. I think we listened to it and then didn't have time to call him back until after we had shot the show. But go ahead.
Okay, wait.
This is the actual message.
This is it.
Hey, James. It's Burt Bacharach in London, and I just want to congratulate you on a kind of a brilliant job. All the people that worked on this. I knew nothing about this till last night. And Sue showed me on the computer this video. Well, I'd love to talk to you. I'm deeply honored to be part of it, to have my music included in this. What a production. How great. I'd love to talk to you about it. Just congratulate you verbally, person to person. So, if you can, give me a call.
Did you call him?
Of course.
What happened? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
He picked up the phone and
He's like, "Hey."
he could not have been nicer. And what was really moving is because remember in the 80s, speaking of AIDS, he had written "That's What Friends Are For."
Right.
Remember?
Right.
And we talked about that because obviously he's had a song who was
wait. Were you on the phone?
Recording.
I think it was on speaker.
Oh,
It might have been on speaker and we were talking.
Right.
Burt was saying that because, of course, he wrote "That's What Friends Are For" in the mid '80s to help with the AIDS crisis. But he said the difference between that song and "What the World Needs Now Is Love" is that our song was recorded in the immediate aftermath of a huge tragedy.
They needed soothing right away.
And
it is one of the greatest songs ever written.
It's an amazing song, and the recording came off. It was everyone just volunteered their time. Everyone just showed up between shows. No one even knew what it was going to be, whether they were going to have solos.
Right.
And none of us, and we didn't tell them, oh, we're going to be filming it for a video.
Right.
So Sarah Jessica Parker shows up, no makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, and no one, by the way, said anything. No one. And it was also Rosie was filming Match Game, and so she came after everyone else had left. I think her and Marissa.
And by the way, full circle, you know who was there? Edie Windsor.
Oh,
she's on the recording,
my God.
looking so glamorous and beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really amazing she was there. So anyway, when you mentioned Burt Bacharach, we had to just mention them. I have saved that phone message because I was so upset.
I would totally. Have you ever talked to him since?
No. I still have his cell phone number though.
Judy.
No.
Judith, I'm not going to do that. I went to see him in concert a couple years ago.
He's just the coolest man.
Isn't he? He's 90, right?
Might be older. He's still got it. Yeah.
He smokes pot a lot, I heard.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't approve.
I do. I love.
Yes.
I just love his melodies.
Yeah.
And his counter melody, where it comes out, you're like, what?
Makes you happy.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy because he doesn't write things in 4/4. He
Right.
goes in and out, and yet it sounds normal.
Right.
Promise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da, 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 da. I don't know 1, 2, 3. I got the 1, 2, 3. So it goes from 6, 8 into 3, but it doesn't feel like a Hindemith piece. It feels like a pop piece.
Hindemith.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
That's so music school.
It is,
isn't it?
20th century.
Wait, what's the one I love where he starts a whole new melody at the end? The fuck is it?
Something there to remind me? No.
No. The look of look of love?
But what would be the new melody at the
Is
end?
it? No, maybe it's not that. Okay, whatever the fuck it is. But I do love him. I love him and Hal. That was my first concert I went to. Was Dionne Warwick and Burt Bacharach.
Oh, I bet that was so great.
Singer,
I know. But doesn't she hate the gays?
I don't know. There's always those stories. I don't know. Let me just say no.
Okay.
Did you do That's What Friends Are For?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she did. Shut the fuck up. This week's episode of It's Judy's Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, It was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Judy Gold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Judy Gold. You're welcome. You got a radio show at Sirius.
Yeah.
Because of a guy named Ray Romano.
Well, Mike Peters more, but Ray, no, actually, no, Ray was a fan of mine. I got that.
But was it Ray Romano?
Oh, that's his name, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't Ray Romano.
No, he was an engineer there.
Yeah.
He was super nice.
Isn't that funny?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Ray. I haven't thought about him in years. He's such a nice guy.
What a shitty name to have.
I know. I didn't even go by Raymond.
Right.
He went by Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that 2003. I've been there. I've been at that job for a long time, lady.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
I know, 17. It was just like a side job. I didn't realize that it was going to have such a big impact on
I
my
had
life.
a deal that fell through there. Okay.
Positive ending.
One of my favorite things that you did, which is being done all over, is Disaster the Musical.
Thank you. Which, by the way, you were in.
Yes, I was in.
Yes.
I wasn't in the big one.
You weren't on Broadway. You were in the lesser version.
Yeah, but I remember I came to see it.
I know. That's what was so fun.
And I called you and I said, it's just like, it makes so much sense. And I love how the song, and you were like, you get it. And then
you deconstructed it back to us.
No, I feel like, am I remembering right that we all went to Diner on 9th Avenue?
Yes,
right
afterwards.
after the show.
And I was like,
and that's
obsessed.
when Judy started saying, if the role ever becomes available, I want to do it.
Yeah,
it was
and then
that
Mary
night after
Testa left.
Right. And then James and I were like, oh my God, Judy Gold. God, you were great in that show.
I loved doing that.
And I remember us leaving and I said, Judy really wants to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
we were already like, when it became open.
Wait, and what's his name who played my husband, who was...
Tom Reese Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played your husband. We had a lot of great people in that show.
Yeah.
Because they went in and out. You had all those stand-up gigs at the end, and naturally your understudy was a man. My friend Drew.
Oh, yeah. That
Drew
was
would get
so
into
funny.
drag and go on for you.
But I remember the first time I died, you were like, no, you have to. I was like, it was over the top.
Well, no, you maybe made it a joke. It wasn't it was over the top. It had to be real because it had to be.
Right. And you were like, no, it has to be real. I'm like, okay.
There has to be
but
heart in the
what's
show.
his name got really mad.
Well, look. I
didn't
actually don't
know.
Remember.
I didn't know.
All I remember is that you were really good because every night we'd always go over the tap dance together. I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I loved
yeah.
that. I was like, let's run it.
Right.
You were. I loved.
I loved that show.
Thank you, Judy.
Who took my part in the Broadway?
Faith Prince, a young up and coming actress.
Shut the fuck up. I know that you wanted it to go to Broadway, but I guarantee you that thing would still be running at the West Side Theater.
We're hoping to get a little movie deal, which would maybe change. Maybe we're going to bring it back to New York after a movie deal. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
It's fucking brilliant.
Thank you, lady.
It is. And now, I love all that 70s pop music. And it's like, I fucking think of the goddamn, the play every time.
Right,
I know.
right,
I have a
right,
new memory for that,
Right. Alone Again Naturally, yes.
Alone Again. And what's the other one? Well, I'm not talking about moving in.
Oh, I love that.
But I love that song.
Yeah.
Jack added that. That was Jack's idea.
But I'm telling you, like those songs, I know they're queer, but I fucking love
They're
them.
great melodies. My God, 70s music was the best.
I know. You also created the Broadway cruises. Did you create that?
No. Well, I've done a lot. I did our family cruise, did the Playboy cruise. James basically hooked.
So James is basically the brains behind this.
He
podcast.
is. He said to me, Seth, we should run our own Broadway cruise because why are we running it through somebody else? And James came up with the concept, and we went from one cruise a year to how many now?
Well, we're doing 4 this year.
We're doing 4.
Well, it was really, because going back to our family Rosie cruise, that was really a magical time for me because Seth and I had only been dating in 2007 at that point for like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And having adopted,
you must have had so much.
And having adopted Julie, we're going to keep going. I know, adopted Julie while we were in Texas. It was my first time to be surrounded by gay parents, gay and lesbian parents. It was really,
And Julie
really
was
amazing.
how old?
And Julie was 6. So it was about 6 months before she was in Ben Gold's class.
That's right.
So cute, another Jew.
But
so you adopted Julie when she was 6 years old.
She was 5.
5. You guys were together for how long?
No, I met right after he adopted Julie.
Okay, so you adopted Julie.
Yeah, a year after he
and you
adopted.
were like, fine, right? You
I
loved
wouldn't say I was
him.
fine.
I would not say that.
No, I was like, I don't want any kids, but I didn't really have a choice in the matter. And then it sort
Right.
of worked out maybe 15 years later.
And
We've only been together 13.
right.
I'm still waiting for it to work out.
Right, that's nice. But didn't you love that about James, that he wanted to be a father?
Well, he was a father, but
Right.
he always wanted to be. No, actually, I never identified with it. I always thought it was weird, and people were like, I've always wanted to be a father. I'm like, why? I want to be a kid all the time. So actually, I found it weird, but I loved how good of a father he was. Like, he was such a kind-hearted person, so I
Right.
loved watching him father. But I always thought it was weird he wanted to be a father. I
Right.
never identified. That was like what your parents
That's
wanted
interesting that you say that, because I want to be a kid all the time too.
Well, you and I have a lot of that
Yes.
ADD, youngest in the family. We have a
Yeah.
lot of that immature ADD.
And I just love, you know what else I love doing, which is really bad? I love annoying people to the point where they are like, I can't take it anymore.
Oh,
You know
he
what
got
I mean?
so mad at me yesterday because he was on the phone with somebody, and I was like
yes.
doing a dance, trying to get a laugh out of him,
Right.
and he was furious.
It's like
at
I'm
me.
on the phone talking to a campaign manager of this
Right.
house district in Texas,
And your
we're
husband
hoping to
is being
flip
cute.
blue, and I'm like trying to really.
Yeah.
I can't concentrate talking to this young woman.
Other people can't. By the way,
Well, I
really-
can't.
Really? Well, how about this? Whenever he's on the phone,
I literally had to put the phone on mute, and I said, "You need to leave."
That's so funny. I do the same shit.
well, this is what he always does. He'll always call my
no.
health insurance company and have to be me because I'm going to make the phone
this
call.
is good.
And
This
he'll
is
always be
good.
like, yes, my name is Seth Rudetsky. Yes, I was born February 28th, 1957. He'll always give the wrong year just to start up.
And by the way, all the times I've done that,
Yeah.
I've never been corrected.
Let's go, okay,
No
sir.
way.
Yeah, so he will always start up.
That's so funny.
Such a dick.
I love it.
1957. Anywho.
But
now-
the cruises were we wanted to work with our friends, and I thought
wanted
the
to-
So
Exactly.
how does it work out? Like, you go to the line, the
we first connected with Celebrity Cruise Lines who wanted to do a cruise with us. So,
Right.
So we started with Celebrity, but then we teamed up with this great travel agent, Judy Pearl. So now we're on Celebrity.
there you
Exactly.
go. That's
We're on
right.
Celebrity, but we're on the Queen Mary 2, and we're on, what's the one with the Italy one?
Regent.
Regent. So she connects with all
So
the
some
cruise lines.
luxury cruises, and then we still do
and
celebrity.
is it? Do you get the whole boat?
No.
No, we're small. We're like this little, like a musical theater summer camp almost within a big boat. That's what we
Right.
love. It's just like
Wait,
us.
what about all your shows and everything?
We have there's
Are
like
they
the
open-
large theater, and then there's a smaller. There's
And
a
it's
smaller
not
theater.
open to the whole boat?
No, it's only the Broadway lovers. So we do these private shows.
And do you have?
We all eat
Are you
together.
all in the same section of the boat?
Well, we all eat together, but people get cabins everywhere on the boat because they're super
Right.
rich people that get.
But
like,
we have
giant-
our own part of the restaurant, so we eat together. We rehearse because we have a variety show. So it's like when we went to the Norwegian Fjords, like Cheetah Rivera was on it, and our passengers sang all that jazz with Cheetah Rivera.
She was Velma, and everyone back.
I
up.
mean, come on.
and then literally, I taught them the Tonight Quintet. She was Anita. Anita's gonna get
No
a case,
way.
and they were the Sharks and the
Yes.
Jets. I mean, it's amazing. The passengers
know,
get to perform with these like amazing.
and we get to go with our friend, like Anika Larson, who is Seth's known
But do you
forever.
think you
It's like-
could get enough where you take over the whole boat?
that is going to be. We keep expanding so much.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
talking about maybe doing that. You know, like not a 2,000 passenger ship a la
Right.
Rosie O'Donnell, but yeah, we're talking about that.
So I ask all my guests 2 questions. I'm very pro mental health. So we always ask our guests if they're on any antidepressants or anti-anxieties, and if not, what they do to maintain their mental healthness.
I'm not on anything, but I've been in
So
therapy.
lucky.
My therapist always says you're not depressive, you have anxiety, but I don't have to. I mean, I probably could benefit from it. I just haven't. done
Right.
it. But I've been in therapy for 30 years or something. I was in group therapy. That's why Faith Prince got your role on Broadway. We were in group therapy together.
Fuck that group therapy.
So I met Faith
Yeah.
there. So I've been in private therapy, group therapy, went to Al-Anon, and then I think
Did you go to Al-Anon because of your brother?
just for codependence.
Right, okay.
Just for like codependence. And then I think I work out like a crazy person.
Same.
I think, yeah.
That's what I did. Until I got injured. Next.
I know, you poor thing.
And you know what else I did? I missed a gig because I was so obsessed with working out. And I had a gig in Connecticut, and then I had to go to, I think it was New Hampshire or like North Boston, to a college. And there was a huge snowstorm coming. And they were like, you know, it's moving this fast. And I was like, I have to run 4 miles today. I have to. And I fucking...
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally
bad.
me. I got to work out or else I'm too anxious. James,
Right.
what do you do for anxiety?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I go to therapy. I'm not on any medicine yet. Depending on how this year progresses election-wise, I may be, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, that's my
going on something.
psychopharmacologist said.
Seriously.
I asked her. She said it's really awful.
There's so much
People are
anxiety.
yes.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately about if I need to take something. So
I
you might
had
ask
this,
me.
very bad clinical depression in 2010 where I couldn't even talk, and I'm on meds, but I feel like, part of me really wants to know what I'd feel like off them, but I'm so scared.
Right.
And also the fear of having another, like it was so, they say performers and artists, can really go back and feel what it's like. So it's even, that fear is even greater. It's awful.
Don't go up. James, I'd tell you what I think you do is I think you like to watch, not mindless, but you like to watch kind of like boring television shows.
Yeah, he makes fun of me because I'll veg out watching stupid
But I
TV
think it's
shows
okay.
that Seth would
I like
never
that.
watch.
Do you watch Lawrence Welk? I love Lawrence Welk.
No.
I love it.
That's pushing it.
I know. Okay. Then my final, this is called Kill Me Now because I wake up and I'm like, fuck you, kill me now.
Right.
So for each one of you, what pisses you off more than anything? Like makes you like, oh, I can't fucking take it anymore.
Go,
James.
Seth. I
Definitely, and I know James gets mad because he doesn't agree with, I cannot take that people walk down the street with headphones on. It infuriates me because it is a complete denial of the fact that you are in society. So people because what happens is, in the old days, you could be like, oh, wow, what a cute dog, or I love you, Jack. Be a normal person. But literally, or you can go, by the way, do you know where Starbucks is? But anytime I want to say anything to anybody, it's like, first of all, either a blank face, and then finally 20 minutes taking the air. And I'm like, what is that important you have to fucking listen to? I can't tell you how it enrages me. It enrages me, James.
Well, can I just comment on that?
Yes.
I put the earphones in and don't play anything because so many people stop me in my neighborhood and I don't want to have conversations with them, but I'm not listening to anything.
So I did pick up on the fact that you're trying to block people out. I mean, that's what I find. I just find it
well,
weird.
it's just like I know something. They're like, Judy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I can't.
Okay.
Well,
can't you just do the fake cell phone
But it's
call?
easier to look the other way when you have headphones in and they won't I just think they won't. All right. Whatever.
I hear you. All right. It annoys me.
All right, go ahead.
talking during a show or a movie.
Oh,
Wait a minute. This is about me. So
no. I asked what pisses you.
I know, but he's literally referring to me because
I
during the
didn't
show,
say that. I
That's
didn't say you.
Why are you turning red then? We'll be watching a show, and I'll have some sassy, fun comments that anyone else would appreciate.
I'm with James.
Wait a minute. You don't talk
Elisa
nonstop?
doesn't shut the fuck up. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's so annoying. And like,
But
the
I'm
shit.
interesting. She's probably like therapy and annoying.
No. She'll be we watch the news. I'm just doing that.
Yes.
What
Oh, yeah,
she's
sorry.
doing.
You missed a lot
We'll
of
be
Judith
watching
comments.
the news.
Yeah.
And really? Yeah. Well, why don't you fuck? I'm like, I'm trying to listen to the rest of the
Thank
point.
you.
And she goes off. Yeah. Well, if you're fucking, why do the Republicans go? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Elisa, we're not even listening to the answer because you're
Right.
fucking talking.
So here's the worst thing that's happened.
It better not be about me.
Technology-wise, no.
Oh.
It has to do with the DVR where you can be allowed to pause. So it happened last night, and Seth and I were watching something, and I'm like, I want to be able to, I'm in the moment of the emotion of what's happening on the screen. I want to actually continue feeling the emotion instead of putting it on pause.
And I might pause for a second. What do
And
you
he
think of
wants
her
to put it on
outfit?
pause.
So it's like something.
So, like, I hate that I love the DVR, but I hate that we actually can pause things.
All right. Well, where can people find you?
I have a cruise. Well, the cruise to the Caribbean is sold out, but I've got a cruise to the Greek and Adriatic Islands, a cruise to
When?
Bermuda. Greek and Adriatic Islands is June. Bermuda is July. Cross Atlantic on the Queen Mary 2, which is also my drag name. That's in October. You just go to my website, Seth Rudetsky. Good luck spelling it. Oh, Seth Rudetsky. SethRudetsky.com. And you can come on one of my amazing Broadway
And where can they find
cruises.
you on Twitter and Instagram?
It's all my name. I'm not like the real Seth Rudetsky. It's all at Seth Rudetsky. Just my name,
What
Seth
about
Rudetsky.
you, James?
I'm Twitter, James Wesley, NYC.
Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of Kill Me Now with Seth Rudetsky and his lovely husband, James Wesley. Make sure to tune in next week on Tuesday for our new guest. I'm not even telling you who it is, okay? But it's so exciting. Bridget Everett. Anyway, if you like the show, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It helps more people find this amazing show, and it is amazing. When you review, it's 5 stars only, okay? I can't with the 4, 3, 2, 1. I know everything you say negative about me. I already know it. So please give me 5 stars. I need something, okay? I have bad luck, and I just need your help. 5 stars. If you can't get enough of my voice, which I can't even believe anyone listens to it, it's so nasal and annoying, I am excited to announce my new comedy album, Conduct Unbecoming, is available now, right now. You can visit my website, judygold.com. You can get it anywhere you get your music, iTunes, and you can also get my other albums that way as well. And go to my website, judygold.com, and you can find out information about my upcoming dates. I'm headed to Rhino Comedy Club on February 15th. That's Saturday, February 15th in Suffern, New York. There is a live podcast, which you'll be able to hear, of Kill Me Now at Club Coming with Bridget Everett on February 20th. So I'm so excited. I don't think there's any tickets left for that. February 22nd, I'll be headed to Coachella Valley Rep in California. It's in Palm Springs. I'm doing a show, Big and Tall, with Bruce Valanche. It's a fundraiser for Coachella Valley Rep, Palm Springs. I'm very excited about that. And you can get tickets for all of this on my website. Stay up to date on all my new dates. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Judy Gold, Jewdy, like Jew, Gold. And I just can't thank you all for listening. Tune in next week. I love all of you. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.